Terry, it was wet and windy out on the training pitch today, but was it a productive session?
Well, it was more about keeping warm than anything else, but it was good for the players to get out there. It's a Thursday and we have our normal biscuit run and make sure that the players enjoy it. It was a case of surviving more than anything else, so there was still some good quality about it, some good goals, good movement and some good passing, but the boys are just ticking away the hours now for the Kilmarnock match and can't wait to get on the bus and get down to Rugby Park.
Big question is, who has to buy the biscuits this time around?
Well, Jason Cummings again. There's him and Liam Craig in the final, and Liam managed to guess what I was going to say and win. So he's disputing that as Jason, but I think for the second time in about 3 or 4 weeks he's had to fork out for the biscuits, which is always quite costly.
Not great then at following instruction or anticipating instruction, but good at scoring goals. That's 17 now for the season for the under-20s. What's your take on that?
Well, I was at the game and Morris and I were there watching the match, and on a beautiful artificial surface at Falkirk, it was a good eye to walk on it after the pitch with Alex Smith, and wow, it's some quality, and it looks just like grass and feels just like grass and plays just like grass. So. But he scored 2 goals on there and scored one early on. Should have squared it to Paul Heffernan a little bit later on. It could have been 2-0 after only about 10 minutes. He missed a good chance when he was through 1-on-1 against the keeper in the second half. But Jason's the sort of guy, well, if he misses chances or things don't go quite right for him, he still keeps going, and he still, he sort of has the philosophy, well, if I miss one, then I'll score the next one. And he certainly did well when he scored the equaliser, threw again on the keeper, slightly right of centre, and just tucked it away very well. So he's a good finisher, and he's got an eye for a goal, and his enthusiasm and his pace gets him into good positions, and he's taken the majority of his chances now, but he's still eager to get more. And if he'd taken all his chances, then wow, you're looking at 17 this season, it could be at least 37.
I mean, obviously, just talking about how he can translate that prolific form into senior level, how can he do that, do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive step up from the 20s to the first team, but he's played well and he's been in the team and we've won games with him and he's had opportunities to score and he's probably just snatched at those chances. So I think when you get up into the top flight with the big boys, if you do get opportunities, you've got to be clinical and you've got to be ruthless, and he's still working on that, and that will come from him. But at least he's getting into good chances, into good positions. At least he's getting the chances now, and who knows? I think a goal for the first team is not too far away.
Latest Scotland squad's now been announced. To what extent were you slightly surprised to see Paul Hanlon's name not there, or do you feel that he is now knocking on the door?
Well, I think he's knocking on the door. I just feel that if the team's showing more consistency too, it certainly helps his cause. But also the fact that he was injured in the early part of this year and he missed a few games, so that sort of absence hasn't sort of worked for him, I think. But I think it's sooner rather than later that he'll be there. I think I look at him and I'd say, well, it's our ambition as a club and me as a manager and obviously Paul as a player to get into that Scotland squad, and I'm very confident that he will do that. But it's a matter of time now, I feel, and if he keeps on doing what he's doing and doing well, if we can get clean sheets and climb the league and get into that top 6, then that will certainly help his cause. But he's certainly one that I feel deserves to be in the squad, and if we can get some impressive results together and get on that run of unbeaten games that we want, then I'm sure that Gordon will have a look for the future.
You've coached Scotland, obviously, alongside George Burley. When you look and you examine the collective capabilities of this Hibs squad, do you see potential international players there?
Yes, I do, and the younger ones have already got good honours too. But when I look at the youngsters coming through, I think the younger players especially can learn from the senior pros. But these are the ones that will get honours early on, and then it's more difficult then after your age 20, 21. You have to then look at B caps possibly, or obviously the senior caps. But to do just that, they've got to have a good foundation, a good learning process, and learn from these senior pros and progress their careers. But there are good senior pros here. There are players here that if they do well at Premiership level in Scotland, then they certainly put themselves in the frame, possibly for the national team. But to do just that, they've got to play at a really, really high level of consistency and really raise the standards of themselves, and we have to raise the standards of the club as well, which we're trying to do.